and I'm going to go ahead and start my very first live stream for yoga class. I'm going to be teaching yoga live online, and today we're just going to do some evening yoga. We're going to go through integration, and then we're going to go through Sun Salutation A. I hope you can see me okay. Thank you so much for joining me. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come to our mat, and we're going to start in what we call child's pose. So you're going to bring your knees as wide as your mat and your big toes to touch, and you're going to go ahead and draw your forehead down to the mat. Bring your arms out long, and we're going to take 3 rounds of breath. So inhale in child's pose, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to come up to our hands and knees. We're going to come up to what we call tabletop. So you're going to stack your hips under your shoulders and your hips under your knees. We're going to take an inhale for cow pose. So you're going to lift your chin and drop your belly. Push the ground away. Exhale, cat pose. Round your spine like an angry cat. Tuck your chin and your pelvis in. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Round your spine and really push the ground away. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. As you inhale, come back to tabletop. And as you exhale, you're going to roll over your toes and push your hips up and back for downward facing dog. So in downward dog, your feet are as wide as your hips. Maybe your heels come to the mat, maybe they don't. You really want your hips to be nice and long, reach nice and high to the sky. Roll your shoulders away from your ears and pull your belly up and in. Your hands are shoulder distance apart, and your index fingers are pressing firmly into the mat. So we're going to take 3 rounds of breath here in down dog. Pull that belly up and in. Inhale. And as you're doing your inhales and your exhales here, exhale, find a spot on the back of your mat to focus on. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, you're going to come high on your toes. Exhale, just soften your knees and come to the top of your mat. We're going to take an inhale, a halfway lift, and exhale, we're going to come down to a forward fold. Inhale, we're going to heel toe our feet hip width distance apart as we stay in a forward fold. And we're going to grab opposite hands to opposite elbows. This is called ragdoll pose. We're just going to let our head and our torso dangle here. And just maybe rock your torso up and back, or your hips can sway side to side. Or just relax and let your head and your torso dangle. Again, find that spot on the back of your mat that you can focus on. We're going to take 3 rounds of breath in ragdoll. Inhale, just let your head dangle here. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, let your hands come down to the mat and heel toe your feet back together. On your inhale, you're going to push through your heels. Come on up 1 vertebrae at a time, nice and easy. Bring your hands high over your head in prayer. And you want to kind of look at your thumbs. Bend your back. Maybe a little back bend in that lower back there. Pull that belly up and in. And as you exhale, we're going to come into we're going to start our Sun Salutation A. So we're going to come down to a forward fold with your head down. And on an inhale, we're going to bring our hands to our shins, lengthen your spine, pull your tail and your crown away from each other. As you exhale, come back down, hang your head down to a forward fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins again, lengthen your spine. This time as you exhale, we're going to bring our hands down to the mat and we're going to step back to a high plank. You're going to lower your knees, chest and chin, and on your inhale, press the tops of your feet into the mat and press your hands firmly into the mat. Your hands are located under your shoulders and your elbows are at your waist. So inhale, press up with your hands. This is low cobra. Take an inhale. And as you exhale here, push back to tabletop and then back to downward facing dog. Find that spot on the back of your mat. We're going to take 3 rounds of breath. Inhale. And as you inhale, pull that belly up and in. Exhale, roll your shoulders down your back, away from your ears. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. This time as you inhale, come high on your toes. Exhale, soften your knees and walk to the top of your mat. We're going to inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Bring your hands to your shins, your belly pulls up and in, and your tail and your crown draw away from each other. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. We're going to bring our hands high over our head in prayer. Look at your thumbs. As you exhale, come down to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, pull that belly up and in. Exhale, you're going to bring your hands down to the mat. We're going to step back to a high plank. We're going to look forward, press forward and lower your knees, bend your elbows. You're going to press in the tops of your feet into the mat, lift your legs and your lower back. As you inhale, this is upward facing dog. And as you exhale, roll over your toes to downward facing dog. Remember, your feet are hip width distance. Your heels do not have to touch the mat. You can pedal your heels out one at a time. And maybe you can bring both heels to the mat. Draw those shoulders away from your ears. 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale. Find that point in the back of your mat to focus on. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, high on your toes. Exhale, soften your knees and come to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push through your heels. Come on up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Root to rise. Look at your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bring our hands to the mat, and we're going to step back to a high plank. This time, you can challenge yourself. Come down to a low plank. As you inhale, press your feet into the top of your mat, lift up out of your lower back, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, roll over your feet for downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. time as you inhale, we're going to come back down to tabletop. Go ahead and you're going to cross your feet behind you and you're going to come to a seat on your mat. Bring your legs out long. We're going to do caterpillar pose before we come into Shavasana. So the caterpillar pose is going to stretch all the backs behind our legs, the bottoms of our feet, our heels, up our lower back and our shoulders, and up the back of our neck to the base of our skull. It's a nice stretch for the whole back of your body. So on an inhale, bring your hands high over your head. Pull your belly up and in. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward over your legs as far as you can until you feel that stretch in the backs of your legs. Take an inhale, draw your tail and your crown away from each other. Exhale, go ahead and see if you can't fold a little deeper. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, fold a little bit deeper here. Relax your head and your shoulders and your neck. One more breath, inhale, and exhale. As you inhale, just walk up nice and easy, one vertebrae at a time. And we're going to go ahead and finish off this yoga class today in Shavasana. So we're going to come to lie on our backs. And we're going to go ahead, before we do Shavasana, I would like to have you bring your knees to your chest and give yourself a hug with your head to the mat. As you exhale, bring your arms out like wings. Take an inhale. Your left shoulder comes as close to the ground as possible. And maybe you gaze over your left shoulder. A few rounds of breath here. Inhale. Feel that breath as you fill up your lower back as you breathe in. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can't sink it in a little bit deeper. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale here, go ahead and bring your knees back to your heart center and give yourself another hug. Go ahead and bring your arms out like wings again. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just let your knees drop over to the left. Let your left hand come on the outside of your right knee. And that right shoulder is as close to the ground as you can get it. Just gaze over your left shoulder. You can close your eyes here if you want. Take a deep breath into that lower spine. Feel it expand. Give it some love. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale again, we're going to bring our knees back into our heart center. Give yourself a big hug here. Maybe bring your forehead to your knees. And as you exhale, just go ahead and let your legs come out nice and long on the mat. Your hands are going to be about a foot away from your torso with your palms to the sky. And your feet fall open a little bit more than hip width distance apart. You can walk your hips down out of the hip sockets and maybe walk your shoulders down away from the ears. So take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, open your mouth and sigh it all out. Take an inhale here. And as you open your mouth and sigh it all out. Just let all the tension, just feel all the tension. Let it all drain out of your body, down into the ground. Let it go. Another deep breath here. And this time as you exhale, see if you can feel your forehead just relax. And just relax your jaw. Let your tongue just fall away from the roof of your mouth. We're just going to take some nice breaths here in Shavasana, or final resting pose. Take about 10 deep breaths here. Just soaking up all the clear energy and fresh oxygen just created in our body. Closing your fingers, maybe nod your head side to side. Bring your feet to the mat, your knees to the sky. Go ahead and maybe rock and roll up here. You can roll your way up to seat, easy seat, seated meditation. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. Tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to Sun Salutation B and some yin poses. If we want to create peace within ourselves, we have to practice doing that. We can practice yoga, meditation every day. But the only way that we're going to bring peace to the world is by first bringing it into our own hearts. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and the divine light in me sees the divine light in everyone. Thank you again. I'll see you tomorrow on the mat. Namaste.